Oh, yeah. Turn the beat all the way up. Oh, yeah. Turn the beat up all the way up, I said. Oh, yeah. If I add them one time, they gon' get hurt. When I drop them on the wire, then they get worked. Bad trades, now how this works. They got me shopping for a tight end out in Pittsburgh. Fuck it, Jai was traded for half a bottle and some blow. Miami tripping off that snow. Ravens beat them 40-0. KB traded to the Bills. And you know Cam Newton's all up in the fields. And you know he's walking all around his house in heels. Cause I know a cross-dresser when I see him bet. Check it, pockets on Andy Reid. About to drop that bail money free to homie Zeke. Cause you know that hoe was lying out her fucking teeth. And you know she even texted that she was. But these feminazis wanna shove a schedule up their butts and walk around triggered every single time he runs. Hold up, Brady, Belly, now that's forever. They traded Gimme, and that was clever for the Niners, but it's whatever. Mahul Cam throw to now. Russell Shepard, Edward, Dixon, are you silly? Panthers bugging. I mean, really. Browns are trash, can't even do a trade. Not that nobody wants to, it's just that they did it late. Are you joking? That's your job. What were you doing? And jacking off. I just went Vontez on the fucking beat. You would lame, probably played an injured Jordan Reed, probably swapping Pryor in for Julio and getting beat. You could never survive my league, go and play for free.
Where the weight at? Before I ran up in the building talking way back. I stay late night dreaming about the payback. All I wanna do is get rich, hey, yo. I get looking for a lick,
hey, yo.
For the shit,
Hey. Thank you, come again. Welcome to Piff on the Blitz, episode 9. I am Piff, a.k.a. The GOAT, a.k.a. Danny Weedhead. But I'm coming off that IR soon. I switched to the CBD. It's just a body high coach, a.k.a. Drew Trees, a.k.a. Benjamin Potson, a.k.a. Piff Monster, a.k.a. you should have played Stafford, but you didn't. You played Eli Manning, but you wanted to play Jay Cutler, but everybody talked you out of it. Then Jay Cutler throws 500 yards and just off it. Just off me. A.k.a. Free the homie Zeke. She's a liar. She's a fucking liar. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Order in the court. What you are witnessing is real. These are not actors. These are real litigants with a case pending in the courts. Hello, I'm Doug Yellowdick. My dick is rarely a normal color. And welcome to Piff's Courts. This is the case of fuck me and my fantasy team. The plaintiff is a little liar. It's a little pretty little liar. It's all lie. The defendant is a little Ewok for the Dallas Cowboys. He's also a running back. Dude, I just don't understand this shit. I just don't. I'll never get it. Well, I get it. There's so much bullshit. The NFL is going to have an investigator investigate this for a year. Come back to Roger Goodell with nothing. Be like, I don't think Zeke should be suspended. I went and investigated this for a year. A year. Imagine spending a year on this fucking situation and coming back and being like, yeah, there's not enough. And Roger Goodell saying, yeah, but, I need to fucking make an example out of him. I need to over-exaggerate the situation. That's one thing. Now imagine all the texts. You can go and fucking Google this shit. See the text that she wrote. Let me see your fucking phone. Give me your phone. What's the passcode? 6969? Look. You look at all the texts she sent about blackmailing him for sex with the sex tapes. Blackmailing him fucking, I'm going to go get a boob job. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to ask for $20K. She accuses Zeke of fucking beating her while she's sitting in the car with him, but there's a witness in the car. And when the police go in and they investigate, the witness is like, no, that didn't happen. So the police, there's nothing. But what was seen and heard by a witness was her in the middle of the street screaming out, I'm going to ruin your career. Nobody's going to believe a black athlete. I mean, she might have texted that. So you got all that. And then just add in the fact that the fucking judge in New York has some type of relation to a lawyer for the NFL, and then add in the fact that there's an NFL representative, like right under Roger Goodell, who's a huge Giants fan. Like, fuck it, are you kidding me? This is the biggest joke I can remember. I mean, the Tom Brady thing was a little absurd. Oh, you deflated a ball. It's like, the Spygate, that's one thing. The deflated ball, fucking who cares? The Colts were getting smashed anyways. But this is a whole nother fucking thing. And they're really making an example out of him, and I wasn't there. I'm not fucking there for everything, but I'll tell you with what I've been given, with what I've seen from her texts, from witness accounts, from a year-long investigation, by somebody who is experienced in this shit, that's enough for me to be like, he doesn't deserve a suspension. Or at the very least, you're giving him 6 games, at the very least, maybe a game or 2. Because, you know, he did do some shit wrong. He did fucking, you know, drop that chick's shirt down and showed some titties. But 6 games? And they're not, like, singling out that incident. They're talking about how he's beat this girl multiple times. But nothing, there's no evidence saying that. There's no real, the police, the actual law enforcement agencies said there wasn't enough. The investigator that you sent for a year to look over it said it wasn't enough. But guilty until proven innocent is what the fucking case was. He was guilty before anything. And it's bullshit. And Roger Goodell is trash. And he's the worst commissioner in sports that's ever been in sports. Fuck him. Fuck these owners. This league, the players need more rights. Straight up. The players need more rights. I'm with Sherman on the guaranteed money. They need the guaranteed money too. I'm this close to buying a plane ticket and going down to that draft. I might fucking be at that draft with a megaphone. Check, and you'll see me. And I'll probably get kicked out of the fucking shit. I want him to go full Wendy Williams and just pass out on the fucking stage. I want to throw shit at the stage. I might fucking... Dude, yeah. So it's trash. It's complete shit. And, you know, and who knows? He's got one more appeal left, and I think he's going to try to appeal it. It is what it is. But, I mean, guilty until proven innocent. That's the case here. And it's just showing you how powerful the NFL is. And that's a problem. I mean, does it sound right to you? Does it sound right that the NFL just... Okay, yeah, I get it. They're a company and their employees, they can do what they want with their employees. I get that. But does it really sound right to you that the NFL just overpowers law enforcement? When law enforcement does the investigation, they say there's no charges, and then you send an investigator for a year and she says there's nothing there, and then the NFL just overrides that shit. Does that sound right? Does that sound right to you? Look at it however you want to look at it. Oh, it's a company. They can do what they want with their employees. You know, the owners, they're in charge of the players. Does it sound right still? Doesn't. But anyways, let's get off that shit. Let's get off the Zeke shit. It is what it is. I have to move forward. You know, I'm 4-4 in fantasy, and I don't know how you guys are doing. Hopefully you guys are doing good in fantasy. Hopefully, if you drafted Zeke, like I said, he isn't going to miss a game. But it turns out he might. So, you know, it is what it is. A lot of trades. Kelvin Benjamin went to the Bills. Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Niners. Jay Ajayi went to the Eagles. And I guess he was a big locker room problem. There was locker room issues. He was complaining all the time, and I think the Dolphins are worried about his knee, and he just wasn't fitting. He just wasn't fitting. Adam Gase, the coach for the Dolphins, said, "No, we don't want him." All that other shit, the locker room shit, it overrides his talent. So we're going to send him to the Eagles. I think it was a dumb trade. I think Jay Ajayi is a talented player. I think, you know, just giving him to the Eagles for a draft pick was stupid, but it is what it is. And it looks like the Patriots picked up Brian Hoyer, you know, for like nothing. The Niners spent a lot of money, and they invested a lot in Jimmy G. And here's what I'll say. The scouting report on Jimmy is good. The kid has, you know, he doesn't have very many games that he played in to look at. He has a very limited amount of work that you can look at. But his scouting report is good. Fast release, good footwork. He's tough. He stays in the pocket. And he set career numbers at Eastern Illinois. Career numbers. Beat Tony Romo's numbers. Beat Sean Payton's numbers. So he was a stud in college, and if he would have went to a big college, he would have been a top draft pick. He was a top draft pick anyways from a smaller school. But he's got talent, and when I watched his tape, he's obviously learned from Tom Brady. Just the footwork, the drop back. He looks better than most. And yeah, the Niners spent a lot for him, but I went out on Twitter and I said, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be elite. Watch. And, you know, there was people saying, well, what about Ryan Mallett? What about Kevin Kolb? What about this guy and this guy? I think it's different. I'm going to say it right now. I think that Jimmy G can lead the Niners to a championship game. I think he can take them to the Super Bowl. I think as good as a coordinator, as good as Shanahan is as a coordinator, he knows what he's doing. I think with Jimmy G has the talent. He has the tools. He has the right presets for a quarterback that can win big games. He's got fast release. He's smart. He's really intelligent. And he'll fit in Shanahan's offense. I don't know, and I'm not saying he's going to do it this year. Duh. The Niners are rebuilding. But Jimmy G is the guy. And good for them for getting a jump start on Jimmy G and getting it started now so they can spend some draft picks to surround him with. You know, to surround him with some talent. But when I look at the tape, man, he's learned so much from Tom Brady. He's like a clone. It looks great. his footwork, his drop back, his release, it just, you know, obviously his injury risk is a little high. He had an AC joint sprain or whatever, and when he was covering for Brady, and that's an issue, and you got to look at the injury, but whatever. Aside from that, I think he has the talent to be an elite quarterback, and I'm going to say it now, and you heard it here on Piff on the Blitz. Next year, the Niners are going to be a lot better than they were last year, especially when you give Jimmy G some time to learn the offense. I think he'll be good. I looked at his tape. I looked at his scouting report. He doesn't, like I said, he has a limited body of work, but he has the right tools. Great release, stays and hangs in the pocket. And when Shanahan had one of the most prolific offenses with Atlanta in the history of the league with Matt Ryan, I think Jimmy G can replicate that. So we'll see what happens there. But I pulled up Blake Bortles, I pull up Andy Dalton, I pull up these guys, and Jimmy Garoppolo's got better footwork. He just has better footwork, he has a better release, I think he's smarter, I think it's time. He's 26, there's a lot of people are saying he's in his prime. Give him some time, he's going to be good. The Niners are going to be a better team next year. I know everybody's already saying that shit and whatever. But there's a lot of doubt about backup quarterbacks from New England that go off to other places and don't do as well. Matt Castle, this and that. Now, Jimmy G's the real deal. I'll tell you that right now. I'll put it out there. I'll bet the house on it. Trade deadline, lots of trades. Kelvin Benjamin going to the Bills. How is that going to improve the Bills? Well, they could be a playoff team. And with Benjamin having a tall receiver on the outside, I don't know how the Panthers did that. I don't know why they did that. Obviously, I think it had a lot to do with injury, the injury risk that Benjamin has, and I just feel like, yeah, they were like, let's get some draft picks, let's get away from this. We're gonna change it. We need to rebuild our wide receiver core, and we'll do it like this. So Benjamin goes to the Bills. Do I think it's gonna take the Bills over the top? No. You know, they still have Tyrod Taylor as a quarterback, and I think he's still too inconsistent for them to win big games in the playoffs. But we'll see if they can even get there first. They got the Jets this week on Thursday. That is going to be a very interesting matchup because the Jets are playing up a little higher than what people thought. So we'll see what happens there. But a lot of interesting trades in the trade deadline. And so, you know, congratulations if you were a team that got a new player. If you were a team that didn't do anything like my team, you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Zeke suspended for 6 games. The Cowboys are going to have to run with Alfred Morris, McFadden, and this Rod Smith character that a lot of people are thinking he's going to jump McFadden and Morris. But from what I've seen, I just don't think it's going to happen. You know, late in the game they give him the ball and he does a lot with it. I don't know if that's enough for me right now to say he's going to jump McFadden and Morris. I think Morris will do okay. They got Kansas City this week. You know, I don't know. There's people picking Kansas City to roll on Dallas. There's people picking Dallas to roll on Kansas City and that they continue with the running game. I don't know. I honestly can't tell you. I'll give you my game pick. But you know, you don't have Zeke. Your best running. This guy is a talent way above Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden. So I think you can only do so much. And if their strategy is to try to continue to run the ball and kill the clock to help their defense out, I don't know if you'll be able to do it as well with Morris and McFadden. Just saying. And Rod Smith. Just saying. So we're going to get to the game picks. We're going to give you the weekly fantasy. Well, let's talk about how we did last week. Because last week was really good. The week before that was really good. Here's our record now, 72-45. We're better than a lot of experts already. We're killing it on game picks now. We're on a roll. The last 2 weeks were great. 72-45. Let's get up into the fucking 80s. Let's keep that number in the 40s. Let's really show that we can get these game picks popping, right? So we're going to give you the game picks. We're going to give you the weekly fantasy. We'll give you the survivor locks. All the locks last week were right. We were wrong about the Redskins Cowboys. We were wrong about the Raiders Bills. The Raiders they are what their schedule is now, and the Bills are playing really well. And so we were wrong about those two things. We went like 11-2, 72-45. That's the record now. Let's just start the let's start off like this. Let's do the weekly fantasy lineup. We'll do the game picks and we'll do the survivor locks. We're on a roll with the game picks. You know, we still haven't, you know, killed it with the weekly fantasy. But here's the lineup I got this week. I got Drew Brees against Tampa Bay. Their defense is ranked 27th in the league. Yeah, I think Brees is going to put some numbers up. I'm going to go with Brees as quarterback. 7,000 is not a bad price. Carlos Hyde, Christian McCaffrey, those will be my running backs. Decent prices, decent matchups. I think Benjamin out in Carolina. They'll probably, you know, throw it to McCaffrey a little bit more. Hyde against Arizona, this is not a very good run defense. I'm going to give, you know, I think San Francisco is going to want to run the ball with Hyde. They don't want to put it in the hands of their quarterback, you know, that much if they want to win. They went to overtime last time they played Arizona and almost won. So I think they ride Hyde a little bit more, and they'll be good. So McCaffrey and Hyde are the running backs. I have Des Bryant against Kansas City. Kansas City has the worst pass defense in the league, so I'll play Bryant. And I think with their high-powered offense with Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill, they're gonna have to. Dallas might have to pass the ball, especially without Zeke. So I'm gonna play Bryant there. I'm gonna go with Funchess now that Benjamin's out. I'm gonna play him against Atlanta. Atlanta's pass defense is ranked 17th in the league. I'll go Jeremy Maclin against Tennessee. Their pass defense is also not that great, and the Ravens might have to pass it. So I'll go Maclin, and then I'll go Vernon Davis because he's playing for Jordan Reed, I think, this week against Seattle. And if it turns out that Jordan Reed is starting, maybe back off on Davis and play somebody else. I'll go Tyreek Hill in the flex against Dallas. I think he's going to eat it up. I think he's going to have a great game. And then my defense will be the Texans against the Colts because, Texans' defense is pretty good. The Colts' offense gives a lot of points to the defenses that they play against. So that's the weekly fantasy. And like I said, we were average last week, and hopefully we improve this week. And we'll just have to see how it goes. All right, so game picks for Week 9. Thursday night matchup, Bills and Jets. Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to go with the Bills 20-13. I think the Bills have enough to win. I think the Jets will play them tough. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to go with the Bills. Falcons and Panthers, I'm going to give the win to the Falcons. A lot of people are picking the Panthers. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think they have enough firepower to beat the Panthers. Without Benjamin, they're going to struggle a little bit more than I think they're going to struggle. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're rebuilding or what they're doing, or they just didn't like Benjamin's injury history. I'm not sure. But I'm going to go with the Falcons here on the road. Even though they've had consecutive road games, I'm going to give it 30 for the Falcons, 28 for the Panthers. Colts-Texans, Deshaun Watson's tough, man. He showed that he was good against Seattle. I think he has enough to beat the Colts. 28-14, Texans over the Colts. Jaguars-Bengals, should be maybe a low-scoring game. Two good defenses. I'm going to give it to the Jaguars. I think their run game is just going to be too much for Cincinnati. 24-17, Jacksonville over Cincinnati. Bucks and Saints, Saints at home. I'll give it to the Saints, 31-20. Drew Brees is going to have good numbers this week. I'll go with that, and I think Mike Thomas and Ted Ginn are going to break open for some deep passes. I think Deshaun Jackson has a good chance to have a good game as well for the Bucks as they try to catch up to the Saints. Mark Ingram, they might ride Mark Ingram. The Saints might ride Mark Ingram through the game to kill the clock, and so I think he could have a good day too. Rams and Giants, this will be interesting. We'll see what the Giants have. They're coming off a bye week. They've had some time now to mesh with these new wide receivers. Eli's had some time to work with these new wide receivers. They get Sterling Shepard back. Evan Ingram, still a good tight end. I'm going to give it to the Rams, though, 41-21. I do think that the Giants, they play catch-up with the Rams. And so hopefully Eli Manning's numbers are good, especially since he's my bye-week quarterback. All right, Broncos-Eagles. I'm going to give the game to the Eagles. The Broncos' offense is just so stale, and it's killing the defense. And the Eagles at home, I think they've got what it takes. 23-17 Eagles over the Broncos. I'm going to give the Titans the win over the Ravens. This was a tough one, but I think the Titans' run game will work the Ravens down, and Mariota's had an extra week to recover his hamstring. I'm going to give the win to the Titans, 28-21. I'm going to give the Niners and Cards, I'm going to give this to the Niners. I'm going to say it's their first win of the season, and I'm going to say they win it 24-23. They went to overtime last time they played. I think the Niners do it this time. I think Carlos Hyde, and if Pierre Garçon plays, I think they can win. If Garçon doesn't play, it's going to be even tougher, and I don't know if I'd pick the Niners, but right now, Garçon's questionable. I'm going to go with the Niners 24-23 over the Cards. Seattle and Washington, I'm going to go with Seattle. They're at home. Washington has to travel. Seattle's just playing. They're just playing. They're winning games. As ugly as it might look, as many points as other teams are putting on them on a Legion of Boom defense that you don't expect to let up as many points as they do, they're still winning games. Russell Wilson's still a leader, and Paul Richardson has really, blossomed in this offense. And it helps out Doug Baldwin. Jimmy Graham's getting targets in the red zone now. It's working. Seattle wins 28-21 over the Redskins. Dallas and Kansas City, people are picking both ways on this. Some people think Dallas is going to roll Kansas City. Some people are thinking Kansas City is going to roll Dallas. So what do I think? I think Kansas City is going to roll Dallas. I just don't pick with Dallas. I never do. I don't know. Pass defense is terrible. Alex Smith goes deep. Tyreek Hill has a field day. Kareem Hunt's going to be tough for Dallas to stop. You can't get after the quarterback when they're running draws with Hunt, and Dallas can't stop it. They do a terrible job tackling from what I've seen. I'll give it to Kansas City, 35-10 over Dallas. Raiders and Miami on a Sunday night game. I'm going to give it to the Raiders. A lot of people are picking Miami. I think the Raiders are going to play up this week. I think they win 28-10. Jay Cutler comes back for Miami. I really want to play Jay Cutler as my bye week quarterback over Eli. We'll see if I regret playing Eli over Jay. Jay could have a good game. Raiders' pass defense isn't very good. But I'll give this game to the Raiders 35-10 over Miami. And in the Monday night game, Lions in Green Bay, I'm going to give it to the Lions easily, 23-7. People are thinking Brett Hundley with a bye week is going to be a lot better. They're going to come back and they're going to beat the Lions. I don't know. I'm going to give it to the Lions on Monday night in Green Bay, 23-17. And those are the game picks. As far as the locks this week, the Texans are a lock. I would almost go as far enough. I would almost say the Eagles are a lock. I would say that the Lions are a lock, and we'll go with those three. And so if you're still picking survivor picks, I'm giving you the Texans this week. That's a team I haven't really given you. And so yeah, we'll say the Texans. We'll say the Jaguars are maybe a lock. We'll say Kansas City and the Lions. Those are strong teams to pick, and those are teams I haven't really given you. So we'll do that. But like I said, 72-45. We're killing it right now. We're killing it. Let's get up into the 80s. Let's keep that number in the 40s. Let's continue to do what we're doing. But that's it. That's what we got. Episode 9. Another condensed version, but don't worry. I'm coming back next week with more length and girth. We're going to go football 101 again. We're going to go inside the numbers. We're going to talk at length. It's going to be girth. You know what I'm saying? Get at us on Twitter, at RowdyPiffPod, at MonsterPiff, fantasy advice, fantasy questions. We're on YouTube. You can like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. We have a show coming out on Monday, Rowdy and the Piff. Check it out. The last show, Goose was sick. Still a good show. Show must go on. So get at us. Get on the Apple Podcasts app, review. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Fuck off. And then, review it, for fuck's sakes. But that's what we got this week. Hopefully your guys' fantasy weeks work out. Hopefully you get the waivers you were trying to get. I hope everything works out for you really well. We'll see you next week. Until then, out.
Where the weight at? Before I ran up in the building, talking way back. I stay late night, dreaming about the payback. All I wanna do is get rich, yo. I get looking for a lick, yo. About to rob 'em for the shit, yo. Want the rollie on the wrist, All I wanna do is get rich, Now where the